Yeah, I'm sitting outside here on the back porch.
No, no one would be the wiser.
Nope. It's a beautiful place to record.
Yeah, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Well, we're recording. Should we find a gear?
Let's do it.
All right. Hey, welcome back to another episode of Road Noise. Um, hey, we're Dad and I are recording this actually back to back. This is one of the little luxuries that we get to do when our schedules don't always work out. So for those of you who are watching on YouTube, no, we don't wear the same clothes every episode. It's just it's just the way it worked out. And I mention that just because I know that we've got some faithful listeners that are over on Spotify and Apple podcast. And I just want to invite you over to YouTube if you care to catch a video version of this. You're welcome to do that as well. But hey, as we're jumping in tonight, Dad, give me a little bit of a preview of where we're going, and this one's got a little bit of adrenaline in it. So let's put in gear and head down the road.
Boy, it had some adrenaline the day that it happened, I'll tell you that.
Yeah.
We were to do a program with our puppets, so we had the bus and everything, and we're going to a church that really wasn't very far away. And so we're on roads that are very familiar. And this one particular road, I'm sure I've been on hundreds of times because anytime we're headed that general direction, we take that road. And so I'm familiar with the road. I know where it goes. I know what to look for. And here we are on a Sunday morning and we're on that road. But I noticed as we turned onto that road, there was something different about it. It was raining out, and I've driven in the rain a lot, but when we turned off of the one road onto this particular one, it was covered with foam. It's like there was soap or something on the road, and had bubbles all over the road. And the further we went, everything stayed the same. It's still raining, but it still has bubbles on the road, and I have no idea what that is. I've never seen that before. I haven't seen it since. So I don't know if they had put some sort of chemical or a cleaning solution, or I don't know what it was, but it's, regular blacktop road. But this particular day, there's suds on it. Well, I know that when you get to the other end of the road, a few miles down the road, there's a T. And you go down a hill. All right, it's in Michigan. It's not a real steep hill. It's not a real long hill, but you go down this hill and you have to stop at the bottom of the hill because the road that intersects there, it's just an intersection and you cannot go straight because there's houses and all right on the other side. I'd hate to live in one of those houses. But when you stop there, you have to turn either left or right. And in our case, we're going to be turning left. So we're headed down the road and we're right on schedule. We're going to get to the church on time. We'll have plenty of time to get things set up. And, it's just going to be a typical Sunday morning. Well, things changed when we get to that hill. Now, right before you get to the hill, there's a sign that says there's a stop ahead. Okay. And then right past that is another sign that shows the curve. Because as you go down the hill, the road makes a slight curve to the left, and then you stop at the bottom, and there you either turn left or right. Well, right next to in between those signs, so right next to the sign that has the arrow saying the road's going to turn, is a telephone pole. And we get basically to that first approaching that first sign, and I know I need to slow this bus down because we're going to make this slight curve. We're going to be going down this hill, and I'm going to have to stop and make our left-hand turn. So I need to slow the bus down. And I put my foot on the brakes. The brakes instantly locked up, and we are skidding. We are just riding the waves, or the foam in this case, and we are skidding. I have no control over the bus. And we get past the sign that says stop ahead. Okay, cleared that. Here comes the telephone pole. Definitely don't want to hit that. And then right after that is going to be the sign that has the arrow that says we're going to turn to the left, but I can't turn. Now keep in mind, this is what people would refer to like a Greyhound bus. This bus doesn't have a hood on it. It has a flat surface on the front. It's the windshield that goes right straight down basically to the ground. It's just flat. And so I'm looking at this sign that is approaching very rapidly. And this curve sign is going to hit right smack dab in the middle of the windshield. I'm guessing it's going to come right through the windshield. There's going to be glass everywhere. And I mean, this is going to get real ugly in just a matter of a few seconds. And there's nothing I can do about it. Sure enough, we hit that sign and the bus is up over the curb and came to a stop. Okay, now you can breathe a little bit. All right, we lived through that. Oh, yeah, we lived through it. And the windshield isn't broke out. I have no idea why it's not broke out, but I'm good with the fact that the windshield's still intact. But the front end of the bus from the windshield on down is just, I know it's going to be ugly. And I need to get out and kind of assess the situation and see how much damage we've done to the bus and to the signs and, you know, the landscape there. I mean, you know, we're up on the dirt and the mud now. It's still raining out. So I get out of the bus and I walk to the front, and sure enough, the windshield's still intact. And I quickly look at the front end of the bus, and it's not all dented up either. Well, I don't have time to spend much time here because we still need to get to the church. And so I look underneath the bus to see, you know, what's the condition of the sign. And the sign is laying down. I mean, it's laying down in the same direction that we were going. We are up on top of the sign. And I'm looking at that and I'm thinking, you know, I probably don't want to have to try to back up. Because if I try backing up, we're going to catch the sign and it's going to rip out. It's going to rip the bottom of the bus out. I mean, so backing up is probably not the best direction to go. I'm already on top of the sign. It's already leaning forward. I think probably my best bet is just to continue on forward and drive completely over the sign and get back out on the road. Yeah, we're in the middle of the curve now, but get back out on the road, get down to the bottom of the hill, make our left-hand turn. Let's go do the program at the church. When we're coming back this afternoon, we'll come back the same way that we went, and I'll stop and, I don't know, can I bend the sign back up? I don't know, but I don't have time to do anything now. So I jump back in the bus and slowly start to pull forward and kind of keeping my eye on the rear view mirror and everything. And we did. We went right over top the sign. And kind of when the sign clears the back bumper, I'm sure it kind of popped up and went and kind of vibrated there for a little bit. It didn't pop back up in position, but hey, we're off of it now and we're on our way to the church. Really no need to call 911 or anything. It's no real accident. It's just we knocked a roadside down. Well, sure enough, we come back, did the program, things went fine. We had plenty of time to get set up and so forth. So the program at the church went great. It's just a super great group of kids. And I remember two things. Yeah, we hit the sign on the way there, but they had two services. And there was just like 20 minutes, maybe a half hour in between the two services. And the church, someone from the church said, hey, we want to run to Wendy's and get you something to eat before you start the second program. And that is the first, I believe it's the only time that I've had a Wendy's double burger. Yeah, they came back with a double burger, and so we ate that. You know, they brought one for each of us, which was really a treat. Well, anyway, so I remember two things from that trip. Well, anyway, so great church. Things went well, and we've been back there several times since. Haven't run over any signs since then, no. But we have been back. So that afternoon, we're headed back, and we get to that intersection, and the sign is, somewhere between a 35, 45-degree angle. It's still right where we left it. Really nothing I can do about it. I can report it to the road commission or something and say, hey, we knocked the sign down. You might want to send somebody out there to set it back up or put a new one in or whatever. But I can't do that until Monday. So Monday I'm back at the office and make the phone call and all about the sign. And it wasn't too long after that, one of our board members stopped in. And so he walks in the office there, and I'm sitting there, and I said, hey, I want you to go back out. I want you to see something about the bus. So we go back out to the bus, standing there in front of it, and I tell him this story of what happened the day before. And I ask him, would you do me a favor? Would you look the bus over and tell me or show me where did this bus make contact with the sign? Show me the scratch on the bumper, on the frame. Obviously it's not on the glass. The glass is in good shape. But show me where was that sign when it hit the bus, or when the bus hit it. He looks all over. He cannot find a scratch of where that post on that sign or anything that we'd hit it. There was absolutely no evidence that we'd hit the sign. I have told people this story many times over the years, and the only explanation that I have, I can't prove it, but the only explanation I can come up with is that God must have had one of his angels lay that sign down so that we could go over top of it, pin it underneath there, but it was laid down, and after we were over top of it, then the angel kind of lets go and lets it rest against the bottom of the bus, but never leave a scratch. Now that's my story, and I'm sticking to it. Until someone can give me a better explanation, I cannot give an explanation as to how that could have possibly happened. Which reminds me of the verse in the Bible where we're told that God will give his angels charge over you. What does that mean? I remember when I was in high school, there was a very popular book out at that time called Angels Unaware. And I read that book. And my, oh my, the Bible talks about that we can entertain angels and not be aware of it. There are things around us that exist that we really don't know about. There's spiritual battles that are being fought on our behalf that we don't even know about. But I believe that that particular Sunday morning, our guardian angel was looking out for us. And yeah, you can go down that route all you want, but something happened that day, and I believe it was God's hand that kept us safe and no damage to the bus. Sign's since been replaced. In fact, when we post this podcast, I'll post a picture of those signs because I've since gone back and taken pictures of the replacement signs that are there.
Yeah, that's great. What a great reminder too that that we're in a battle. It's not against flesh and blood, and we've got allies as well in that battle. That's a powerful reminder. I also too love that you took photos of these signs, Dad. It's kind of like a memorial or a remembrance of God looking out for you. Like we need those in our lives. We need those symbols to come back to as reminders of God's faithfulness, his provision, his protection.
The Israelites would grab a bunch of rocks and make a pile, right? And say, this is to remind us.
Yep, absolutely. Absolutely. And those kind of things,
you're right.
They strengthen our faith when we come back to them and we are face to face again with how God provided, and we can trust Him to continue to do so.
I'm guessing that there's probably people listening and watching this particular podcast that have similar stories
Yep.
where God has done something that you cannot explain. And all you can do is give credit to the Lord for the way the situation turned out.
Yep.
But anyway, so if you got stories like that, hey, I'd love to read the comments. So tell us what God's done for you.
I love it. It's a great idea. All right. Well, hey, let's put it in park here, and we'll pick it up again next week.
Yeah, I'll try to have a different shirt on next time they see me.
Yeah, me too.